All right. Let me do one of these.
Like the clap, yeah.
All right. I'm wearing a loud teal. What do you call these? I'm wearing a loud teal polo. It must mean we're back here doing another episode of A Legal Newbie and a Lawyer. Just let's start off with a honesty test. What do you think of this shirt?
Kind of looks like my dad helped pick that.
Okay. I think this means you can trust this lawyer. All right, so let's jump in. Today what we're talking about is the personal injury claim process. So I'm just going to ask questions the internet is asking.
All right, ask away.
All right, the internet wants to know, how long does it take to settle a personal injury claim? Also, they want to know, how long does it take a personal injury how long does a personal injury lawsuit take? I think those are the same thing, right?
Kind of the same question.
Okay, all right.
And I guess my very simple answer, it depends. The reason I say that is because you can have a very simple accident where perhaps the injury is very, very minor, and it's easy to get treatment for it. We know exactly the long-term impacts on it. That can settle very, very quickly if people are in agreement, they're reasonable.
Yeah.
So that's possible. You also get kind of the other end of the spectrum, where you get people who are very severely injured. Perhaps there's a need for a lot of treatment, and perhaps there's also a need for a lot of ongoing treatment where you don't know kind of how things look in the future, and it takes a lot of effort and work to kind of figure out that part. When you have cases like that, or if you have cases with liability issues, or people who don't want to be reasonable at all during litigation, then it can take a considerable amount of time.
Okay, summing up, a lawsuit or a personal injury claim, it's not a hamburger. I can't tell you it's $6. I can't tell you it's $18. I can't tell you it's going to be done in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's going to be a process depending on the circumstances.
True.
Okay, all right. So personal injury claim steps. Can you take me through? What are the personal injury claim steps? How to handle a personal injury case from start to finish?
Sure. Usually what happens is when we kind of receive a client here, they've obviously been involved in some sort of accident. A lot of our clients have already been through, at least partially, through some medical treatment immediately after the accident. Very often, before we really start working to settle the case, it's necessary to make sure that you kind of get the full medical treatment and get people back to as close to as they were as possible. Sometimes that's not possible just based upon the nature of the injuries, and that kind of creates some different scenarios. But ultimately, once people get the medical treatment that they need, then the next issue that we deal with is trying to resolve the case by making demands of the insurance carrier, trying to see what we can do to reach some sort of resolution. If that fails and we're ultimately not able to reach a resolution, then usually we end up in litigation. Litigation can be things like arbitration, or perhaps going in front of a jury and letting a jury decide the issue.
Okay, so it's kind of, you come to a Y in the road there if they're not able to kind of see eye to eye with it.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about pausing to find my place. Timelines. We already talked about timelines, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've nailed this whole thing.
Yeah, I think we have it.
People know it may take a certain amount of time. It might be short. It might be long. There might be a trial or arbitration process. There might not be. Can you give me like a percentage? Like, is it usually that it doesn't go to trial?
I would probably say, obviously, majority of cases do not go to trial. In terms of percentage, I can't really tell you a clear percentage on it. Again, it just really varies. Okay. But majority get resolved one way or another prior to trial.
Okay. All right. So if you have a personal injury situation, just want to say these guys are pretty good at personal injury, lawyering, attorneying. Do you have a preference, attorneying or lawyering?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah. So they're pretty good at it.
Whichever you choose.
They'll take great care of you. So just wanted to encourage you to call Helland Law Group. We can't tell you how long it's going to take, but we can tell you they're going to take great care of you, and you're going to be glad that you got some support and some expertise on your side.
Absolutely.